Hello, namaste, and good afternoon. This is Manashvi, and on behalf of Veroptum IBITS team, I'd like to welcome you all to our IBITS e-learning session. A brief introduction about our program. IBITS e-learning session is an initiative by Veroptum, and it is an interactive program where we discuss optometric topics. And today we have with us Mr. Premnath Krishnasamy, who is going to talk on the topic management of headaches in optometry topic. Before we go further, a small reminder to our audiences, don't forget to keep your mics muted, and if you all have any questions, please type them out in the conversation box and we will discuss them later after the presentation is over. A brief introduction about our speaker today. Mr. Premnath Krishnasamy completed his bachelor's of optometry from Sri Chandrasekhar Vishwa Mahavidyalaya Kanchipuram and his master's from NIMS. He has worked as optometrist in Shankar Netralaya and has also worked as assistant professor in Ahalya School of Optometry, Palakkad, and MN School of Optometry, Chennai. Mr. Krishnasamy has a teaching experience of 9 years and is currently assistant professor in Vitala International Institute of Ophthalmology. So, on behalf of Veroptum IBITS and our audience, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Uh, it's a very good pleasure for me to join with the Four Optum team, and I hope the team for a good success. Okay, today we'll go to the topic of the section called management of headache in a optometry practice. I think we know that headache is one of the common symptom when we come to which is seen in the eye clinic. So each and at least one in every five patients definitely will complain of headache in one or other form. So and headache, when you know the reasons, it has multiple amount of reasons we have. But sometimes we know how to handle it. Sometimes we miss the base. The solution for the headache will be very simple also, which we forget to identify it, and we may send the patient. We can't treat the patient also. So this headache management will, it's actually very vast topic, and today I'll be just giving an outline of the what are the headache disease causes can be coming, and how can if in case how the those cases come to optometry practice, how we can identify and just give the basic guidances or how to treat them small issues. So basically I'll go in, I'm divided the section. So based on this I'll divide the section into two things. So first thing, just understanding of the common headache causes, and the second thing is how in optometry what are the small cases will be coming and how we'll handling it off. Okay, we'll proceed with the next things. So synopsis, when you look on it, first we'll look what is the basic introduction about the headache we'll be discussing on. Then what is the role of optometrist in headache management? Then classifications of headache, headache characteristics and associated symptoms, and the causes of the ocular-related headaches, investigations of headache in optometry clinic. So what are the limitations for the optometrist in handling headaches? What are they? And finally, the conclusions. When you come to the introduction, so headache is nothing but a large public health problem. So that's as I said before, many people will be suffering with the headache. So we come to know headache is not a condition; it's just a small symptom. But many problems in the inflammations or any conditions in the body, headache is one of the symptoms. So if you're able to understand the headache, we can which will lead to a better diagnosis. That's a main point in understanding of the headache. There are many sufferers for where most of them were never consult the general practitioner or a primary care providers, and most of the conditions will be remain undiagnosed. So they don't know what is the problem. The problem can be very simple also, or the headache problem can be major also. So they will think that it's a mild headache and they don't take it care, but the solution can be simple. If they adapt the solution, they can avoid the headache. And most of the patients will be relying on the over-the-counter medicines, and they'll take it off. For the temporarily, they'll headache will be relieved, and again the symptom will be keep on coming. So in the optometrist headache management, when you look on it, headache is one of the common complaints during the eye examination. So it can be ocular related or it can be non-ocular. And prescribing a classes or a placebo will not solve the problems in most of the cases. So a proper understanding we should have the headache and what is the basic cause what is the basic cause, and which will help the practitioner to guide the patient. So it cannot be ocular problem also, or it can be ocular problem also. So whatever it is, we can guide the patient. So if it is ocular problem, we can give necessary treatments or guidances. If it is non-ocular problem, we can refer to a proper consultant. So that is a basic thing. And the main challenges of implementing a headache service are the provisions of appropriate training. So how to, so directly we can't handle a thing. We should have a basic understanding of headache. So what are the problems can be caused while headache will be a symptom, and what is the management of it, and how to refer to a proper consultant and a regular follow-up. So first, the nature of headaches can be classified according to the basic things. So first is a benign primary headache, and episodic tension types of headache, episodic migraine, and a chronic daily headaches things. So in almost 90 to 95% of the population will be experiencing any one or other forms of headaches throughout their lifetimes. And when you compare the statistical things, compared to males, females will be experiencing headache problem and more because of the because of the health issues, and because of the other types of things like cluster types or migraine types will be commonly seen more on females compared to the males. According to international classifications of headache disorder, the headache is basically classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary types of headaches. When you come to the primary types of headaches, so according to the international classifications of headache disorder, it is classified as migraine, tension type, trigeminal atomic cephalgia, and other primary causes of headaches. And when it comes to the secondary causes of headaches, it can be caused because of many reasons. So it can be any injury on head, or any cranial or cervical or vascular disorders, or it can be because of non-vascular intracranial disorders, or any disorders in the ear, nose, eyes, sinuses, teeth, mouth, or cervical things, or because it can be of a psychiatric disorders. And when you come to the tertiary types of headaches, it can happen because of cranial neuropathies, facial pains, or other headache types of disorders. So commonly we can see the thing as a migraine, which comes under primary headache, and many people are suffering with the things. I think in the first introduction slide itself, I think so. 1 in every 10 persons are suffering by the head with the migraine problem. So what is basic understanding of migraine? It's nothing but a recurrent throbbing headache that typically affects one or both of the side of the head. So usually it will be unilateral. In some cases it can be bilateral also, accompanied by nausea and disturbed vision, which we call as aura. So this aura can be of different types. We'll come to the next slide. We'll be discussing about it. So this migraine classification make it off. It can be classified as without aura and migraine with aura, and it can be classified as chronic migraine. So what is a migraine without aura, which will be commonly termed as common migraine or otherwise called hemicrania simplex, where the headache will be happening at least 5 attacks, minimum 5 attacks should be there. Then only we can confirm it as migraine without aura, and the manifest attacks will be lasting for nearly 4 to 72 hours. On migraine without aura and make it off, the characteristics will be unilateral in location, and it have a pulsating quality. The headache will have a pulsating quality, and can be the severity can be from moderate to severe, and which is aggravated by the physical activities like walking, climbing, running, or any other actings. And it will be associated with nausea, photophobia, and phonophobia, which is sound they can't, when they hear a high amount of sound, they can't bear it off. And sometimes it will have a visual problem also can be associated. And migraine with aura when you make it off, which is classified, which is said as a commonly termed as classic migraine or ophthalmic migraine, otherwise called hemiplegic migraine. Migraine with aura, when you have the description, when you want to describe migraine with aura, so minimum at least you'll have a two attacks will be there, and at least it will be lasting for minimum of 10 to 20 minutes. And whatever the, for example, if the vision is suddenly reducing out, and slowly within after 10 to 15 minutes, the vision will be regained. So such types of attacks we call it as aura. So this will be unilaterally fully reversible visual symptoms. So whatever the aura will be, it will be completely reversible. Okay. So then unilateral reversible sensory or other central nervous symptoms will be there. So where the progression, which will have a gradual progression will be there, and it will be accompanied with headache and associated with other migraine symptoms. When you have the what is the characteristics of the migraine with aura when you make it off? So one of the following reversible aura symptoms can be there. So first is visual aura, next is sensory aura, then speech or language, then motor aura, then brain stem, and the retinal types of auras can happen. So in this common thing, any of the in this out of this aura which has been mentioned, commonly three things are seen in the normal population. So first is a visual aura, then is a sensory aura, and next is a motor aura, which is thing. And whatever the patient is experiencing, they can experiences one or the two auras at the same time. Okay, so commonly will be a migraine will have a visual aura, and other than that, they'll have a sensory and motor aura also. So what is aura when you make it of? It is a complex neurological symptoms which occurs usually before the headache of the migraine. So before the headache will be starting, they will be showing some certain symptoms that we call as aura. So which will be begin after the headache phase has been commenced, or it can continue to throughout the headache phase also. So when the headache is happening, before the headache it can start, or when the headache is happening, it can continue also. And sometimes after the headache has stopped also, still the aura can be continued. So the aura, it's mainly believed to happen. Why it will be arising because of the cortical spreading depressions in the happening on the brain. So where the brain cells use electrical ions around the cell membrane to maintain the equilibrium. So in aura, what will happening? There will be a temporary malfunctioning will be happening in receiving the neurons. So what happened? That area will become blank. So I'll like imagine like a sudden power cut. So sudden power when something is functioning, sudden power cut happens, and then there will be become blank. And again, when the power comes out, it will everything will start functioning properly. So similar like that, the brain will also have some malfunctions which will affect the equilibrium. And in aura, what will happen? The temporary malfunction of the cerebral balance, which will cause a slow wave of electrical disturbances in the cortical spreading depressions. So this cortical spreading depressions usually will be categorized into three things. So commonly, lots are there, but commonly seen are three, which is visual, a sensory, and the motor aura. So in visual aura, what are the common symptoms we'll be looking like flashing of lights, zigzagging lines, blurred vision, blind spots, which will be the blind spots will be expanding over a period of time, and again it will shrink off. So this is the visual aura symptoms will be there. When you look at the sensory aura, numbness or a tingling sensation will be present. When in the motor aura, where jumbled speech, where they can't speak properly, difficulty in understanding what they say, and difficulty in writing, problems of what they can't think clearly, they'll have into confusion. So all these things will be considered as a motor aura. So when the main common symptom of the any other migraine with aura is a visual aura, where wave of irritation across the visual cortex, where temporary malfunction of ion exchange between the cell membrane is thought to lead to the symptoms of the visual aura symptoms, which we call as a typical migraine. So visual aura usually will be existing for 10 to 30 minutes, where it tends to start in the center of the field of vision and spreads outward, and it can be including like blind spots can be seen, or scotoma, which is called as scotomas, where can be center. From the center, the blind spots can increase, and again, still slowly it will be shrinking off. Then like zigzagging lines also will be present across the field of vision. Then shimmering spots or starts can have seen. Then changes in the vision or vision loss and the flashes of light. So in the picture, Kalstein, first is a scintillating scotoma, and second picture is a blind spot or a central scotoma is present. And the third picture is a zigzag line. They'll see a colored zigzag lines in the normal visual field. So this is how the visual aura symptoms will be there. Either it can be a colored like a rainbow like pattern they'll see it off, or something like zigzag lines, or the particular area, one of the visual field area will be slightly blurred or smudged. So next comes the sensory aura, where it occurs at the same time as a visual aura or directly after. Sometimes when the visual aura is happening, same simultaneously sensory also can happen. It begins as a tingling in one limb or a feeling of numbness that travels up your arm. The sensation can spread to one side of your face and the tongue, and can exist for nearly 10 to 20 minutes. So this commonly occurs in migraine with the brainstem aura. So whenever the migraine associated with the brainstem, this types of sensory aura commonly seen. So next is a aphasia aura. So where transient speech or language problem can happen suddenly, and the person aphasia may have a speak in short or incomplete sentences, where the sentences don't make any sense. So when whatever they speak, they'll be keep on blabbering something. So such that those some types of symptoms will be there. And substitute one word for another word or a sound, so one sound for another. So that some confusions will be happening, and speaking unrecognizable words, and it will not be understood for the whatever the conversation is happening, it can't be understood. So it's not only writing, while the writing also will not be happening. And usually whenever the kids have some of the kids having learning difficulty, they try to tend have the aphasia aura also. And this aphasia aura is commonly caused whenever migraine associated with brainstem. And next is the motor aura, which is results in the muscle weakness or paralysis to one area or the side of the body, and it commonly occurs in the hemiplegic migraine types of conditions. So this migraine, whenever it's happening, it undergoes a series of phases. So first phase is a prodrome phase, next is the oro phase, next is a migraine headache, and next is a postdrome phase. So first, in the prodrome phase, what are the basic things will be happening is they'll have a yawning or they'll feel tiredness. Before the oro starts, these are the common symptoms they will make it off. So once the prodrome is happening, then they'll go to the status of aura. So where they feel very weakness, tiredness, they'll have visual issues, they can't see properly, something like flashing of lights can happen. They may have a tinkling sensation, they can't talk properly, they can't write properly. So this is conditions where the aura second phase of migraine. And the third phase of migraine is will start once the aura has been started, then headache will be happening, where the headache can be the head throbbing pain can happen, which will be while at the time of headache they may have the nausea and vertigo symptoms also, and they'll have a very high sensitivity to light, sound, and the smells also. And after the headache, the migraine headache has been happened, it will consist for nearly 10 to 15 minutes. Then a postdrome will be there, where they'll feel very tired and they'll have a hangover like feeling, and they'll go fatigue, and they will need a rest. And after the taking rest for certain times, again they'll get back to the normal things. So this is how the phases of migraine will be classified. So how the basic warning symptom by migraine phases will be: first, warning symptoms like weakness, fatigues, and concentration deficit, carvings for the certain foods will be happening off. Then aura will be developing, which will be existing for 15 to 30 minutes, like dots, flashes in front of the eyes. They'll be happening. They'll feel numbness, paralysis, or speech disorder can happen. Then again, headache will be happening, where one-sided. It can be of one-sided throbbing types of headache, where the severity will be keep on changing according to individuals, and usually on the forehead or on the complete head they can feel the pain. Then the resolution of headache. So headache starts reducing, and the scalps become sensitive and will become weakness and fatigue. And finally, then the recovery will be happening. So where they'll feel very tired, they'll be uneasy, they'll be very distracted. They want to take a rest for some times, and they want to sleep also. So these are the normal phases of migraine. So this is how the migraine will be started when headache. They go to the peak phase of headache, then resolving and recovery can happen. Next, we come for the hemiplegic migraine. So this is distinguished characteristics like motor weakness, where the inability to move certain areas on the entire part, some certain parts of the body or the entire body they can't move. So along with muscle weakness, patient may experience like visual aura also, and sensory or language problem also they make it off. The whatever the it can look like temporary paralysis with so when a stroke patients, whatever the stroke patients will feel, so suddenly they can't move their hands or they can't talk properly, so all those things, it looks like a temporary stroke symptoms. So the hemiplegic migraine symptoms basically consist of motor aura, sensory and visual aura, and along with that the traditional migraine symptoms will also be present. So diagnosing a migraine is a very big task. So because the migraine, whatever I said is just an outline. So even though lots of internal classifications are there, so diagnosing a migraine, you should have a proper case history, and you should know how, you should ask for the proper history. Then only you can understand whether it's a migraine or not. For optometrists, a diagnosing headache disorder, including a migraine, based on an individual symptoms and medical and family history. So it's not only one individual, whatever they say, you have to look for the medical history also. You have to look for as per the family history also. And after that they may refer to whatever proper after thing. Okay, it's a migraine thing, they can refer to a proper neurologist who are specialized in nervous system disorders. So basically, whenever migraine comes, they'll have a common triggering factors. So this triggering factors, we can give a concentration. So we can, whenever we have a history taking and all, we can ask for this triggering factors. So common triggering factors may vary from person to person, and it's like specific food habits or specific types of work. So commonly it will be stress, depression, or anxiety. So it can be because of any hormonal changes, because of lack of sleep, or because of hunger or loss of appetite, or any consumptions of alcohol or caffeine, or very adverse exercise, low blood sugar. So all these things, exposure to bright light, so all those things will be triggering factors for a migraine. And these things you have to remember. And whenever the patient is complaining of headache and you are suspecting a migraine, make sure you put such a questions in your history taking, so that based on this triggering factor, any of the triggering factors are there, so that the headache is getting worsened. How to manage a migraine? Already I said thing, most of the migraines are managed with the over-counter drugs, and which is mainly help to relieve the pain. And commonly used painkillers are acetaminophen, and which and non-steroid NSAIDs will be given, and which like aspirin, ibuprofen will be given, and other the over-counter like melatonin. So these are the normal over-counter drugs they can take to for the reducing the for relieving from the pain of the headaches. And prescription medications will be prescribed, so that we can't optometrists can't handle, so only the specific specialized persons can give it off. So in I think what and all usually given for the prescriptions are anti-nausea medicines like beta blockers and triptans, Exert and Treximet. Then these are the givens, and anti-seizures medications also given. And sometimes we will be giving they will be prescribed for antidepressants and botulinum toxin also. So how in optometry, how to manage a migraine? So we as our part of role in the optometry management is very less. But before referring to other healthcare professional, so make sure they don't have any eye problem, because of the eye problem the headache can keep even more worse also. So make sure they don't have any eye problem. So proper eye examination to rule out refractive error and binocular vision disorders. Make sure it. Then, in case a patient is complaining with a migraine, you can give a tinted lenses. So, which is where the tinted lens, which will help in observing blue to green wavelength of the spectrum. So, which will reduce migraine headaches. Where blue and green, which is a wavelength of 480 nanometer, exposed from the fluorescent light and sunlight light, can cause severe headaches to the migraine patient. So, when you avoid such wavelength, which can reduce the symptoms of thing, and migraine can be subsided. So commonly the tinted lenses available the brand which will be FL41 lenses, commonly advised for the migraine types of peoples. So the my FL tint will be looking like this, which is given in the picture. And tinted contact lenses also can be suggested. So some of the tinted contact lenses available to treat migraine, where it filters the wavelength of the respective 480 to 500 nanometers, and which is where those respective wavelength will be stimulating headache for the migraine patients. So commonly used tinted lenses to treat migraines are red tinted lenses, lavender, and migraine 55. So these are the contact lens brands which is given by the BioBed. And in India it's not available, but still red tinted lenses are available. So you can suggest red tinted lenses also. So these are the contact lenses available. So first is lavender, then it's a migraine 55, and next is a red tinted contact lenses. And non-medication prevention. So how to other what are the other advices from the optometrist side you can give to the migraine patients? Lifestyle factors which prevent the migraine episodes, and some types of headaches. So where you can ask them to exercise daily, to proper dietary things you can make it of, good meditations, and give them make them to motivate them to have a stress management techniques and all. So all these things advices you can give them, or you can refer to a particular concern who will be handling on the respective task. So next come for the retinal migraine. So this is a very rare type of disorder seen in the population, but still minimum nearly 2% of the populations are affected because of retinal migraine. So this retinal, how will we differentiate with the retinal migraine, normal migraine? This retinal migraine will be associated with only one eye. So whatever the aura symptoms are seen in other usual migraine, the aura symptoms can be seen on one eye or both eyes also. But in retinal migraine, and it will be changing. But in case of retinal migraine, this aura symptoms will be constantly seen on only in one eye, and and the severity also will be increasing on the same eye only. So the retinal migraine, where the visual aura occurs, will be only one eye, and the retinal migraine may or may not include the headache from the typical migraine, and usually it will be lasting for 5 to 60 minutes in one eye without any headache symptoms. So the exact causes is unclear. What is the basic cause of retinal migraine? But it is considered to be because of the vasospasm within the retinal or cerebral vasculature, where the vasoconstriction of both the veins and arteries could diffuse or be segmental. So whether complete vasospasm can happen, or a particular sector of the retina where the vasospasm can happen of, or it can be due to the spreading depressions of the neuron in the retina. So whatever we saw cortical depression initially we saw for the causing of aura, so same types of cortical spreading depression can happen within the retinal cells also. So because of that also retinal migraine can happen. So the basic characteristics of the thing will be fully reversible monocular, which will be positive or negative visual phenomenon will be there, where the patient can see scintillating scotoma, blindness, or it will have a attack, or only they'll be on only one eye and will be keep on worsening. So the amount of recovery time will be little more compared to that of normal migraine. And usually they'll have say, symptoms will be existing for 5 to 60 minutes, accompanied by the headaches also sometimes will happen. So the usual common symptom will be the aura. So first will be the scintillating scrotum will be happening like this. Then it will be keep on spreading. So when the like a wave-like patterns will be happening. So first whatever the patient see, a good amount of peripheral visual field. Again there will be like a scrotum a blank area, and again some amount of seen area on the central spot. So this is how the patient will be describing to the examiner. So common triggering factors when you will look on it, emotional stress, high blood pressure, contraceptive pills, then intensive exercise, high altitude, dehydration, smoking, blood sugar level, low blood sugar levels, hyperthermia, where body temperature increases. So all these things can cause a retinal migraine. So what are the investigations we have to do for retinal migraine? First, you have to check for the visual acuity, where which eye has a lesser, wherever the attack, whichever eye the feeling the patient is complaining of attack, better usually will have a lesser visual acuity than the other, and the color vision will may show uniocular changes. Pupil examination will be mostly normal, and visual field may show scotoma, and according to the individuals, the amount of scotoma will be varying of. And commonly, this retinal migraine can be examined with the fluorescent angiography. So where they'll have a delayed filling or occlusion of the central retinal artery, or its branches on a normal ciliary circulations, and it has to be associated with other neurological investigations also should be done. How to manage a retinal migraine? So if the attacks are infrequent, then the treatment is not necessary. When the attacks are more frequent, lifestyle changes should be required, whatever the dietary triggers like alcohol, caffeine, smoking, all those things should be happening, and the controlling stresses like high blood pressure. Then they have to avoid the smoke, whatever in case of body temperature, high increase of body temperature, all these things and all should be taken care. When you make the other things, this migraine attacks will be triggering factors. When you make it under control, definitely the attacks of the retinal migraine will be very very less. And other than that, the normal medication we like calcium channel blockers, aspirin, and anti-epileptic drugs, and the beta blockers. Usually, beta blockers will not be given because in this other conditions, initially we saw management beta blockers are given, but in retinal migraine they will not give beta blockers because it will increase the reversibility of the vision, and sometimes it can continuous taking of beta blockers will result in a permanent vision loss in the respective eye. Next is a chronic migraine. So where headache happens within 14 or more days per month, which is features of the headaches. But the headache can be a migraine like a tension type, which is more than for 15 days or less than the 3 months, less than 3 months. So may have at least 5 attacks with migraine with aura or without the symptoms also it can happen. And usually it is relieved by triptan or ergot types of derivative drugs. So the descriptions of chronic migraine, which will be having a episodic, it will have a continuous stage of medicines for relieving the symptoms, and there are high chance of overusage. So since they're chronic, they keep on having the headache. So these people will take the medicines, and because of over dosages also, a migraine can happen. So next thing is a tension type of headache. So which is a common type of headache and which will be described as squeezing or tight sensation around the head. So like someone is pressing, like thing, the patient usually comes, some like a rubber band is compressing the forehead. So usually seen on the forehead thing, like a rubber band sensation around the head. So it is also associated muscle tenderness in the muscles of the head, neck and shoulders. This tension types of headache, what is the exact cause is also not known properly. And it is believed that headache results from the activation of myofascial pain receptors activated when the myofascial pain receptors are activated and the pain signals are transmitted through it. So then the tension type of headaches will be causing. And this tension types of headaches may be varying according to different things, and this it has categorization where infrequent episodic type, frequent episodic type, and chronic type. So next in the thing is a cluster headache, and this is very uncommon and being without begin without any warning, and the attacks will be very severe. So compared to the other two types of headaches, the clustered headache, the pain level will be very more, where the strictly unilateral pain will be there, which will be present on the orbital and supraorbital region, orbital and supraorbital region, or in any combinations of the sites. And ipsilateral conjunctival injections, lacrimation, and nasal congestion can also happen. And they'll have a forehead and facial sweating, so which is a very important identification where forehead and facial sweating will be happening over there. And along with it, miosis, ptosis, or eyelid edema can happen. And the attacks are often short-lived, which will be existing for 15 to 180 minutes, and they cause a cruciating like burning, piercing, stabbing pain around the eyes and temples. The patient will be feeling off. So the severity level, when you ask a patient to grade a cluster headache, the patient usually will be grading 1 to 10. The severity will be usually from 9 to 10. So the main causes, this is also not able to understand, but it is considered some problem happening at the hypothalamus region, or it can be because of trigeminal nerve stimulation, or histamine release, or because of activations of autonomic nervous system. So when you summarize all the three types of headaches, headache, the tension type of headache where both sides of head, face and neck will be affected. The type of pain will be sensation of pressing or a tightness around the head, and the intensity will be fairly painful. And the duration for the tension type of headache will be 30 minutes or more than that it will be existing. In case of migraine, it can be either one or both the sides of the head, or the pain can be felt on the face or neck also, and it will be of pulsating, throbbing, or banging type. So when the headache is happening, sensitivity to light or sound or sick or vomiting will be there, and it is very painful, and it will be existing for nearly 4 hours to 3 days also. The cluster headaches, when you make it off, it can be one side of the head or face or around the eye can be present off. And the type of pain will be sharp, burning, throbbing, and drilling and tightening pain will be there. And the patient will be very restless, and the sweaty forehead and face will be there. A red or watering eye on the sides of the headache. So there can be a redness of the conjunctiva, and episclera also can be happening off, and the pain will be extremely painful, and it can maintain for nearly 3 hours at least every other day. It will be continually, it will happen for once in 2 weeks. So other primary cause of headaches like a primary cough headache. So whenever the patient is coughing, the headache can happen. And whenever the primary exercise headache, whenever the patient is happening of doing intense workouts and all, that time they can get a primary exercise headache. And cold stimulus headache, which is commonly seen whenever this exposure to cold stimulus or ingestion, when they consume it, or inhalation, like air coolers and all, they'll start getting headaches. So whenever the cold stimulus is kept away, the headache will be resolved off. So now we come for the ocular related headaches. So this ocular related headaches, according to ICHD, the ocular related headaches are not be reasons or not has not been classified. And during optometry practice, we can see the patients with headache symptoms, and there are quite reasons to give a concentration. So there are some handful. If you give a proper concentration, the headache may be a normal symptom, but you identify the small reasons, the headache can be resolved off. So the common ocular-related headaches are stimulated by continuous eye strain. So you have to make sure so that whatever ocular-related headaches are happening, it's because of eye strain. The eye strain will be aggravated, and so that headache will be caused. So when you reduce eye strain, the headache also will be subsided. So common cause of occluded headaches will be first is common condition is a refractive error. So refractive errors, which will what are the normal refractive errors which will cause the headaches are hyperopia, astigmatism, pseudomyopia, and the presbyopia. So in case of hyperopia, like uncorrected hyperopia, with the constant near work will cause eye strain, and which will be aggravated to the headache. And normally people will be complaining headache near the eyebrows. And astigmatism, uncorrected astigmatism with constant visual task, either it can be distance on ear, can cause eye strain, and headache will usually will be felt on the frontal region. And in case of pseudomyopia, where uncorrected hyperopia or a constant near work can stimulate accommodation, and will the patient accommodative spasm can happen, and which causes the eye strain, and the headache will be there, where the symptoms worsen in dim illumination. So the headache, so whenever they start working in dim illumination, and that time only they'll start perceiving headache, or already when the headache is happening, when they start working on dim illumination, the headache will be even be worse. So next, in case of presbyopia, uncorrected presbyopia with constant near work causes eye strain, and headache will be happening off, where the symptoms will be worsening, even that also will be worsening on dim illumination. So other headache causes of headaches, refractive headaches and all, will be substituted by giving correct class prescriptions. So when you give when you do refraction properly, when you check for other parameters, when you do a proper subjective refraction, so and give a correct prescription, those types of headaches will subside automatically. And you have to call for periodical reviews whether they're using the classes, whether the headache symptoms occurred here after that, or is that been resolved. So all those things you have to make sure. So when by calling the periodical review, you can know the understanding whether the headache symptoms has been resolved or not. And the basic problem is not the headache; it's because of the eye strain. The patient is getting a headache. The next ocular-related headaches is a binoculation anomalies. So commonly, vergence and accommodations are commonly affected will cause these types of headaches. So when you come to the vergence related, when convergence insufficiency, where exophoria will be greater at near, and convergence excess, where exophoria will be greater at near, sorry, esophoria will be greater at near, and divergence excess where exophoria will be greater at distances. So when you do a cover and cover test and we do the fusional versions and all, when you try to find out this, and these types of things will cause headaches, vergence related types of headaches. And other binoculation anomalies are accommodation. So when the patient is having a reduced accommodative insufficiency, and where the patient will have a reduced accommodative amplitude. In case of accommodative spasm, where in case of MVM will be finding giving difficulty with plus lenses, and accommodative infacility, where the patient will have a reduced accommodation facility with the plus and minus lenses, and accommodative fatigue will be there, where the patient will be inability to sustain accommodation. So all these cases and all, they'll try to have a headache. They'll feel the eye strain, and which will be aggravated as a headaches. So ocular related headaches. So usually these types of because of vergence or astigmatism, because of accommodation problems and all, these headaches is usually complain when the patient has a continuous visual demand, and mostly reported at the end of the day. So it's not once they have a periodic. So patient is don't have any visual task. And even though they have the accommodation problems, the vergence problem, not going to complain of. As a person who has a constant near work or a constant visual task, so when they try to use it for a maximum period of time, that at the day end only they'll start feeling the headache. So by which will be a very good hinting character whenever you take a proper history. And these types of headaches will be mainly caused because of the eye strain. And we have to give necessary relieving prisms and a vision therapy to reduce the symptoms. And again, a periodical review has to be given so that whether they're using the classes properly, whether they're doing the treatments properly, so that how the headache and eye strain is reduced, we can have a proper note. And usage of contact lens also sometimes can causes headaches. So main common problem is wrong prescription. Nowadays, this types of problems has been very, but still some places it happen when you give a wrong prescription, especially in case of toric lenses. So toric lenses, you have to be very careful. Even the small misalignment, better give a try. Whenever we give a trial, sometimes the patient will not be reported, and when they started using for longer period of time, they may complain of a headache. So where the axis can be aligned, where the ballast stabilization technique will not be a proper. So all those things you have to make sure whether these things can cause a headache while using a contact lenses. Then multifocal contact lenses, where adaptation towards the respective contact lens design can cause a headache. So better for those people, you have to ask them, okay, make sure that this whatever correction the design the patient is will be comfortable for the patient, and then adapt giving a training for them how to use. Slowly ask them to start 1 hour a day, 2 hour a day. So then you can make it off and then ask for the feedback whether headache is still continuing or whether the headache is resolving off. So when you have a resolving, then you can continue the same types of design. Or the patient still complains of headache, better ask them to better get to the change the design concept. Or still the patient is not uncomfortable, better give a progressive classes. So next, in the dry eye conditions also it will cause headache, where the constant dry eyes will cause discomfort over the eye, and which will be aggravated as a headache. And headache will be mild in all these three conditions. So all the contact lens related, all the headache will be very mild, and the necessary alteration done in contact lens designs and prescriptions, the headache will be resolved automatically. So next common thing which is facing nowadays is a digital eye strain. So this digital eye strain nothing but a computation syndrome. So commonly this people who work in IT sectors or people who use computer for longer period hours, they commonly complain with these problems, where characterized by the visual disturbances or ocular discomfort related to the use of digital devices. So common symptoms will be eye strain, blurred vision will be there, and along with headache will be there. And when they have the people having digital eye strain, definitely they have a pain in the shoulder and the neck also, and they'll have a, associated dry eyes. So the main causes of the digital eye strain be because of the binoculation problem, the thing, reduced blink rate, or because of the uncorrected refractive error. So how to manage the this digital eye strain? We have to give a, we have to do a proper refraction and subjective, and you have to give a good glass prescriptions. And in case vision and the patient is having any binocular vision dysfunction, you have to give a proper vision therapy, and you have to ask them to do a adapting 20-20 rule, where for every 20 minutes look at a target at 20 feet for 20 seconds. This is a 20-20 rule thing we have to make it off, and you can still suggest them blue absorbing filters, and prescribing prism contoured lenses also will have benefit the uh, managing the digital eye strain. So the blue lenses, usually whatever the blue blocks the blue light from the systems or TV, mobiles and all, which will enhance the working ability for the respective persons. And prescribing a contact prism. So this contact prism is nothing but as what happens, there can be a misalignment between the eyes and the head and neck. So while tracking objects and can cause a trigeminal dysphoria. So minimum level the eye can manage it off. When constantly this misalignment is keep on happening between eyes, head and neck, it will create a trigeminal dysphoria. So the main causes of the trigeminal dysphoria is nothing but a headache, eye strain, and pain in the neck and shoulders. So standard prisms usually what for these people if you give a prism like a contact prism it will help to relieve the things. So normal prism what will happen the standard prism where the lenses will address misalignment on the particular distance either for the distance or for the near for the particular distance only it will be addressing. Whereas in case of contact prisms how the progressive lenses slowly the gradually the power is increasing from the distance correction to the level. Same way, the counter prism provides an effortless eye alignment at all distances by gradually increasing the prism from distance to near. So commonly, basin prisms will be given in this, so which release over the stimulations of the trigeminal, so that the symptom will be reducing. So in the first picture, the left hand side will have the normal prism where it will have a will be acting on the only one distances, either for the distance or the near. Whereas in case of counter prism, the prism level will be slowly declining according to the different target, either distance, intermediate, or near. And in case of traditional lenses, you can see the two pictures below. So where the traditional lenses will help to misalignment can't be treated from a distance, intermediate, and near level. Whereas in case of contact prism, according to the IPD levels at the distance and near, so the amount of prism will be increasing to the different distance. For example, distance the person needs one prism diopter, it will be incorporating. For the intermediate two means it will be incorporating two prism diopters and the intermediate. And three prism diopter for near means it will be incorporating three. So when you make it off, the amount of misalignment will be reduced. So when avoiding this misalignment, we can try to avoid the headaches, especially these types of lenses in given further to avoid the digital eye strain. And prescribing this lens is commonly advised for the tension, not only for the digital eye strain, it will also prescribe for other types of headaches. For migraine also and cluster headache also, these lenses are being given. And commonly in a US company called Neuralens will be dispensing these types of lenses. Another ocular-related headaches issue will be commonly seen in post-spectacle lens dispensing, where after prescribing astigmatic lenses, when the patient wears astigmatic correction, whereas astigmatic correction will not properly, so may have a headache pain. So now you would have given a normal prescription, but the first time the patient is wearing astigmatic correction, definitely they will have some little amount of headaches they'll be felt of. So they will not know. So they would have thought that they would have given a wrong prescription, they would have not used of. Again, the headache will be elevated. So make sure whenever you're dispensing lens, ask the patient to wear it properly. In case of any complaints after wearing the glasses, ask them to report to you so that you can find any what are the problem with the spectacle and you can give the necessary changes. Next, in the misalignment of spectacle axis. So especially whenever the astigmatic axis has been misaligned, so that also can cause the headaches. Then after dispensing a bifocal lenses, when a person is wearing a bifocal for the first time, so you have to train them how to view through the spec lenses. So through the distance correction, how to view, through the near correction, how to view. So we have to train them. So without knowing that, first time they make it off, because of the change in the magnification, they'll start tend to develop headaches. So where the adaptation towards a lens design may take time for the first time wearers. Then after discussing progressive addition lenses, where adaptation towards the lens design may take time for the first time wearer, and the aberration at the periphery of the lens may cause the headaches. And these things are very mild symptoms. Usually diffuse types of headaches will be seen on the all three conditions. Next, in the change in the lens fitting, whatever the spectacle lens will happen in case any decentration. So when the lens is not properly placed on the exact optical center parallel to the pupil thing, and when there is any decentration is happening, so those decentration also sometimes will cause headaches. So when the lens optic center is not aligned with patient pupil center, will cause prismatic deviation, where horizontal deviations are better tolerated compared to the vertical deviations. At least in case some horizontal deviation is there, the patient may or may not complain. But in case of vertical deviation, when the spectacle lens is deviated vertically, definitely it's going to cause a vertical prismatic deviation, and the patient will cause a headache problems. Next is insufficient segment height. When the segment height is narrower than the required, and try to find the respective bifocal design according to the patient's near requirement. Sometimes the patient have a maximum time on the table work. So if you prescribe a D bifocal, the patient might find it little irritating and they may develop headaches. So if you prescribe a cryptop, it will be benefit for them. So those types of design changes also you have to note it down for the. So you have to suggest the right design for the right patient. And while suggesting occupational lenses, still many people have not aware of occupational designs about the things. So if you prescribe wrong types of occupational lenses for wrong person, that also will cause headache, and the patient will be not comfortable with such types of progressive lenses also. So better when you're prescribing thing, educate the patient about the progressive lenses, how it will work. For example, if you're giving the progressive lens where it mainly works on targets the intermediate and the near, and such types of lenses sometimes it may it will not be good for the distance also. So educate the patient and how they have to use such types of lenses, when they have to use, what is the time level. So all those things we have to educate the patient. By educating them about the progress lenses and about the lens characteristic, you can they can the patient also will learn how to use the lenses, and basically the headache problems because of the dispensing such lenses can be avoided. So next is the spectacle frame treated, where the smaller frame size. When the patient wears a smaller frame sizes to the respective faces, it can compress the temple and it can cause a bitemporal headache also. So for this thing, we have to take a require frame measurement for the respective face, so that the temples of the frames is not compressing the lateral sides of the head, and it is very free to move. Next is a bifocal and narrow frame. And when the frame height is narrower, patient commonly try to have a chin up position to get a better view of the segment. So this also sometimes will cause a neck pain, and which will be elevated as a headache. Then wider frame and high spectacle power. So when selecting a wider frames for high, minus, or plus power can cause the symptoms due to the center and edge thicknesses. Because of the aberration, they may develop a headache. So all these things, as soon as they wear, they will not be there. So when they start using the lenses, so there are two types of people. Where even the small changes, they'll be very sensitive, and there are some people who will be adapting to the problem, and they'll be still keep on living with the problem. So there are two types of people. So usually this types of problem will not be seen as soon as you prescribe the lenses. So once they started using those glasses only, they'll start feeling the problem. And people who are sensitive, you have to make sure that you get a proper history of it. Where is the problem? When they are getting it, and then if you identify the problem properly, so it's easy to treat it. And the other ocular related headaches are inflammatory conditions, where in case of conjunctivitis, the eye pain, headache will be there because due to the photophobia. In case of scleritis and episcleritis, periorbital pain will be there, and whenever the patient is having eye movement, the pain will be aggravated more. And uveitis conditions, where moderate to severe pain will be there, so it will be a constant dull and aching pain in the eye and the forehead also. The headache will be perceived. So next, in case of keratitis, where mild to moderate pain in the eye will be there, and the head and the forehead region also, pain will be felt because due to the photophobia conditions. In case of optic neuritis, frontal or bitemporal headaches with ocular pain, which will be worsened by eye movements with vision and visual field loss can happen. And sometimes this optic neuritis, they'll have a flashes also with the headaches, it will be associated. So we have to make sure whether it's a migraine symptoms or an optic neuritis symptom. And commonly seen problems is sinusitis, where the pain and pressure and fulfillment will be present on the cheek, brow, or forehead will be there, and pain worsens when the patient bend forward or lie down. So when you get the proper history taking, whenever they bend down, whether the pain is elevated, when the pain is increasing or not. So those types of headache can be caused because of the sinusitis. Next is a placebo factor. So this is not actually exact, is actually a treating factor. So how we have a malingering patient, there are some patients also we can see where they will have a psychological belief that if they wear glasses, the headache will be relieved of. So in such conditions, what you have to give, you better give a minimum pluses with anti-reflection coating, so that make sure while before giving such placebo lenses, make sure the patient does not have any refractive corrections or any other binoculation problem. Then patient still have the headache, complaints of headache, then give a placebo lenses with the minimum lenses and better anti-reflection coating. So next, investigation optometrically, how to investigate the headache, and this is a very challenging task. So every investigation starts with proper history and taking about the problems, and when we try to get a proper headache, it is easy to diagnose the cause. So first, we never ask for the history. First, you have to ask for the location of the headache, whether it is if it is diffuse. So throughout the head, they have the headache, or any particular region they have the headache, which is focal, hemicrania. Only half of the skull they feel the headaches. Periorbital, surrounding the eye margins, they'll have the thing. Temporal, they have it of one side or two-sided, only bitemporal or unilateral temporal. those things you have, then cervical or occipital. So where is the region of the headache? First you have to locations of the headache where they're feeling, that has to be recorded. And then side of the pain where it swells. So only one side is feeling the pain, or both the side it is feeling the pain, or it is keep on alternating. And next is the onset time. So when it is starting, is it starting in the early morning? So for example, in case of glaucoma conditions and all, the patient will be have a complaining headache at the early morning. Whenever they get up, they'll start feeling the headaches. So that or some in evenings, binocular vision related problems can complain to problem at the evenings. And people, whenever they're exposed to have a bright light, especially in case of migraine, they'll start complaining of things. So onset time is very important, and duration, how long they're able to persist, the headache is continued, so that amount of duration has to be recorded. And the type of pain, so what is the type of pain they experience, whether it is a dull, is it an aching pain, or is it lacerating, or it's a burning, or a throbbing type, or a squeezing type. So we have to also describe the what type of pain they make it, and they are feeling, and depending upon the characteristics of headaches will be varying, will be categorized. And the mode of the headache, whether they're getting a sudden headache or a progressive types of headache, or episodic, or treatment. So shorten only at the morning time they get for a long, only for morning time they get, means that such types of thing called as episodic. Permanent, every time they keep on feeling the headache, that is called as permanent. And chronic type, slowly the headache will be keep on increasing, and for a longer period of time the headache is present, that such types of headache will be chronic. And mostly in case of eye related problems, they will be experiencing progressive types of headaches. And exaggerating factors, so like whenever they cough or strain, the headache is increasing or not. In any postural, particular postural chills, like in sinusitis, if they bend down, whether a headache is increasing or not. So all those things you have to get in detail. And during consuming certain food and drink, like consuming caffeine or consuming alcohol, the headache has been increased. Exposed to bright sunlight, so whenever the patient is exposing to bright sunlight, the headache may be increasing, especially in case of migraine. And exposed to cold conditions, people who have sinusitis and all, whenever they're exposed to cold conditions, consume cold things, the headache will be started. And we have to ask about the relieving factors. So how the relieving factors are there, whether after taking medicine the headache is getting relieved, or after taking rest for longer time, whether a headache is relieved, or when they sleep the headache is getting relieved, on the when they stop doing the particular task. For example, a patient is doing watching looking at the system for a longer period of time, so once it stop looking at the system and they come out for a break, the headache might get relieved. So those things also has to be noted down in the headache history. Then you have to ask for the family history of migraines or any allergies they have, and the car sicknesses, whether the patient had any head or neck injury has happened, or any stress they have in the office, or any other stress they have, or they have any underwent any depression. So all those things has to be noted down, and definitely have to record about the family history of migraines and aneurysms. And other than that, in case some other additional symptoms also will be there, which is photopsia, where patient will have scintillating scotoma. Then vision loss will be there. There can be monocular or binocular when the headache is happening. Then visual phenomena like macropsia, metamorphopsia can happen, and photophobia and phonophobia, seizures, fever, vertigo, lacrimation. When sometimes patient is having, especially in case of sinusitis and all, when the headache is happening, lacrimation can happen. Ptosis in case of trigeminal problems, and the conjunctival injections, weight loss, loss of appetite, sometimes high blood pressure, anemic conditions, weakness, fatigues. So all these things symptoms also you have to note down for a ocular pain histories. And clinical, what are the normal investigations you do it in optometric clinic? First, you have to do a proper visual acuity refraction. Color vision examination is mandatory, and for highlighting, for differentiating headache whether from ocular or because of neurological problem. And better take MRD1, MRD2 for the ptosis evaluations. Pupils, very important. Pupil examination, very important. And extraocular motilities and cover test, accommodations and emergency examination. Do a basic confrontation, and if you have a problem, you're working in a hospital, better to do a basic field examinations. Do a proper slit lamp microscope, by microscopy, check for the angle structures whether they are normal or not, or any chances of angle closure is present or not. So those things you have to evaluate with the gonioscopy. Then intraocular pressure you have to check for it. Then visual field examination and dilated field examination, where you have to give maximum importance to the disc when disc pallor is present or disc edema is present. All those things has to be ruled out in your optometric examination. And other than the general examination, like patient whether hyperthermia, whether temperature is increasing or not. So blood pressure. So normally, optometrists should also take blood pressure in their regular day-to-day clinical activities. So that also has to be checked. And whether you have to take a check for any spondylitis problem, brain and neck, back pain history is there. So all those things you have to make it off. And after that, once you have required, in case any refractive error is not there, no binocular vision problem or other types of ocular related things you have ruled out, then you can refer them to a proper neurologist with a proper report. So that you have so and so has been examined, and this is the status of it. As, what is the refract? In case the patient is having refractive, what is the refractive? In case the patient is having a binocular vision problem, what is the binocular vision problem? With the proper report, send refer them to a respective neuro consultant, where it can be neuro ophthalmologist or neurologist. So indications for neuroimaging. So when sometimes a patient you may not know when to refer a patient. So neurological symptoms that not meet migraine and ORCA criteria. So the patient will be complaining with so you'll be suspect a migraine, but according to the symptoms it not be a migraine symptom. So then you have to definitely refer for a neuro consultant. Hemicrania with contralateral neurological symptoms, headache with cancer or immunosuppressions, and where the patient complaining of constant headaches and more than 50 years of old, where headache and fever changes, mental status changes in the mental status, if the patient is having changes in the behavior. So all those people definitely have to refer for a neuro opinion. And oral setting getting severe on exposure of the time keep on increasing. And when or else when sometimes the old patient also will be there, normally complaining of migraine, but suddenly the patient is complaining that aura, the time of aura is keep on increasing. So better advise your patient for to get a neurologist opinion. So basic limitations. So first we have to make sure that there are lots of causes for the headache, and optometrists cannot solve every problems. So it's just one of the factor in handling the headache thing. First, make clear that there are no visual causes for the headache. And after a thorough examination, the patient needs neurologist opinion. Refer them to a right consultant. And other than OTC drugs, please don't suggest any of the drugs because of the legalization also. And without consulting physician, please don't suggest any drugs. Even OTC also, if the patient is constantly taking the OTC drug also, over usage of OTC drug also can increase the headaches. So be aware of the side effects of the OTC drugs also, and give a report about the class prescription or vision therapy training or whatever training, whatever treatment you have given to the patient. Give a report to the patient also, so that wherever references they go, they can carry the report along with them. So, what is the beneficial headache management you can advise a patient other than treating, giving spectacles or contact lenses and all? So, as you can ask the patient to have a healthy diet, maintain a regular meal times, stay hydrated, ask them to drink water maximum, and moderate your caffeine and alcohol intake, and engage in exercise daily. So these are the things we can motivate the patient, so that we can give a suggestion to them, so that they also practice in the, for example, if a patient is having a migraine patient coming to clinic, we can advise these things so that he'll also benefit it and you'll also benefit it. So in a summary, says handling a headache in optometry is challenging for both for the patient and for the examiner also. So first you have to understand the pain and try to give the necessary advice for the symptoms. So learn about what is the different binoculation treatment and other binoculation problem which can cause the headaches, and learn about what are the different ocular aids available to treat headache symptoms. For example, like migraine prescribing a contact prisms or tinted lenses or tinted contact lenses, like that. Try to learn, keep on updating, and start communicating with other healthcare professionals, and start to refer your patients, and in the same way try to get a reference from them also. So it's not when you should refer them, try to get a reference from a respective consultant, so that they also send patient to you, so both of them get mutually benefited. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for allotting your time and listening to my talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. So that was indeed a wonderful presentation, and I'm sure, like me, our audiences have also enjoyed it, and we all have learned something of value today. So, shall we move to the
Yeah, question session. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So the first question that we received from our audience is, can children have retinal migraine and what is the management if so?
Same thing, better in the children. If you have the thing, as an optometrist, we can suggest same like tinted lenses we can give. So we can suggest the FL41, but make sure that the patient is having any refractive error or binocular vision problem. And in this, when a child is having a thing, it has to be handled by three persons: a pediatrician, an optometrist, and a neuroconsultant. So it can be neuro-ophthalmologist or neurologist. So based on the three reference only, you can have it. And an optometrist individually can't give treatment to the child, respective child.
So in that case,
Hope
which demographic is most likely to suffer from the migraine headaches?
I'm not getting it properly.
Yes. So what
Hello.
group of population or who is most likely to suffer from the migraine
Actually,
headaches?
there are two categories. In case of migraine and tension types of headaches, comparatively, females are affected more. So one is because of the working and because of the hormonal changes usually faces on the female thing. So, and in case of males, usually the cluster types of headaches and tension related some more. And commonly, this ocular types of headaches also seen more on the this types of population. And come to the pediatrics age group under 15 years of age, where had a problem because of refractive error, astigmatism, and binocular vision. So these things are maximum seen on such populations.
Thank you for the answer. So similarly, the other question that we've received is, what is a contoured prism lens?
Contour prism lens, I think you know progressive lenses. So prism, how the progressive, the power is degrading, the power keeps on increasing from distance to near. Same way the contour prisms will be there. So according to the, for example, if you have the distance fixation, you have to induce a prism. So normally, if you induce a basin prism for it will be reducing the impact on the it will be reducing the strain, so that so when the patient is having a different targets for distance, intermediate, near, the amount of prism will be keep on increasing. So that at how the progress lenses, the power is increasing from distance near. Same way the prism also will be increasing. So whatever the fixation is happening, whether it can be distance, intermediate, or near, it will be happen. So that such types of prism prescription we have contact prism. So normally when you give a prescription prism in the prescription lenses, will be concentrating either for the distance or for the near. So in that level, only the decentration will be happening, whereas contact prism thing, but the decentration will be happening to the different distance level. So gradually the prismatic effect will be increasing. So according to the whether work of task, for example, a software person who uses system for longer period of time and he complains of eye strain, and when he wears a contact prism, so when there is already, usually when you give a induce basin prism, it reduces eye strain. For different distances, when the prism is induced, it definitely going to reduce the headache symptoms also.
And while talking
Hello.
about the different causes of headache, how common is the headache related to the eye?
Uh, Actually, many people
Can you
are
hear me,
not
sir?
aware of that headache. Yeah, I'm hearing you. And many people actually, saying truth, many people are not aware that because of eye problem, they're having headache. They think some other problem, whether because of sinusitis or basic thing. And still, many people are not aware of because of eye, the headache can be caused. And commonly, when you make it of refractive error, especially in case of under 15 years of age group, refractive error is still commonly seen on many things. Whenever we go for the screening and all, so those kids will be complaining of headache. So it can be a normal normal hyperopia they'll have astigmatism. So these are the basic things they'll have it of. So refractive errors commonly seen in the refractive related types of headaches are commonly seen. And other than that, people who have adults, people who have exposed to have a normal things, they'll have mild problems like phoria, mild exophoria will be there, mild esophoria will be convergence excess, convergence insufficiency. So they will not aware it of. So they'll take breaks and they'll avoid, they neglect the thing and keep periodically they'll make it off, and sometimes they'll take medicines for the headaches also. So when they know it of, okay, because of the binoculation problem, when they do proper vision therapy, proper training for it, so those problems can be avoided in the those types of conditions.
Thank you for the answer, sir. So, similarly, while talking about the management of the headache, so we see a rise in the trend of ocular exercises as well as ocular yoga. So, how effective do you think they are for managing the headaches
Right.
related to eye?
Yeah, actually, there are lots of studies that whenever they have a breath management, so when you're able to control the breath, definitely it will affect on the mic. It has a positive side, and there is no actually clinical evidences that whether yoga can, when if you do yoga for a longer time, it will avoid headache, but it'll have showing some positive signs where that headache is being subsided. So basic thing, headache is a nothing, just a one of the symptom. Surrounding that, lots of problems are there. It can be because of stress, it can be because of depression, or it can be because of some other external factors. So when those external factors are there, and when you do such types of things like ocular exercises or yoga or meditation, definitely shows a positive. But there is no clinical evidences that, okay, because of yoga, doing meditation or yoga, ocular these or headaches can be subsided. Hello,
Yes,
hello,
sir. Yes, sir. I
I'm
had a
audible.
trouble with unmuting my mic. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. We're
Okay.
wrapped up with our questions now. And on behalf of IBIDS and our audience, we would like to thank Mr. Premnath Krishnasamy for giving us his valuable time and the lovely experience and the knowledge that you have imparted on us today. So, from our group, I'd like to request you to share your experience on today's session with us today. Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello?
Sorry, there was a network issue. Actually,
Yes, sir.
it was
So,
very good that four of them is doing very good e-learning, and I congratulate the team for the efforts, whatever they're taking it off, and wish them good success for the future. And this, uh, my suggestion is even increase little different topics. So according to the topic wise, try to get the thing and have a group chat with them. So I think you people are doing a question and answer sessions and all that. I'm following it off, which is a good thing, and hope that this program continues for longer time.
thank you so much for your kind words, sir. And we will definitely take your advice and will work towards making our program more interactive as well as more diverse in related to the topics. And this brings us to the end of the program. I would also like to thank our audiences for being supportive, kind, attentive, and interactive. On that note, I would like to end this session. Will be on YouTube soon. Simply search IBITS and for Optum. You can also visit us at www.foroptum.com for more information on Foroptum and IBITS. Also join us on WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and other social media outlets. Stay home, stay safe, and have a great day ahead.